Welcome back to Relationship in the Raw, hosted by Estes Therapy, where we talk about real relationship challenges and solutions brought to you by actual therapists.
Hi, my name's Lauryn and I'm a therapist here at Estes Therapy.
Hi, I'm Jennine Estes and I'm the owner of Estes Therapy and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. Today, we're going to talk about addiction.
Yes, I'm not sure if you haven't seen it already, please go check out our last video, but we went over the 3 A's. So addiction, abuse, and affairs and how they can impact the relationship and stage 1 in the EFT journey.
Yeah. So today, when we talk about addiction, addiction is one of the issues that prevents couples from getting kind of a long-term change. Well, most of the time, couples who have an addiction going on, they're going to get really stuck in counseling. There's not going to be much progress. It's going to be kind of in this repeat place because the addiction wins. So we're going to talk a lot about the addiction today, why it impacts your couples counseling, why it's impacting your relationship, and what to do about it.
Absolutely. And so to start off, let's just talk about, how does addiction show up in therapy?
So the way it shows up is a lot of times there's going to be a lot of complaints within a relationship, right? So partners will feel like, hey, my partner, I feel like they're drinking again, or it feels like something else is going on. There's been some lying. There usually is a lot of higher escalation, a lot of higher conflict when we have addiction going on with couples, because it's a competing attachment. What that means, it's kind of like the other woman, right? Like, I can't feel secure because you're always going to that other thing. And it doesn't necessarily need to be alcohol, right? When people hear addiction, they think alcohol or drugs. Addiction can go to like masturbation, like there's a compulsiveness to it, or it can go into pornography. There's just this compulsive, impulsive thing that really takes somebody offline. They're not available, not able to emotionally regulate, not able to show up for the partner, not able to see like, oh, my behavior's impacting you, so I'm going to change my behavior and what I'm doing because it's impacting you. It's kind of like, no, I need this and I want this, and there becomes a lot more hiding and lying and secrecy. People might fall offline, be unavailable, disappearing acts, things like that.
That right there, that their partner being offline. A lot of my couples, when I share that, they're like, yes. It's like I'm talking to them on the phone and they just hang up. Don't know when I'll hear from them again, when they'll be back, what they're doing. And it can be so scary because you're not sure. Could they be hurt? Yeah. Could they be with someone else? It's so painful. And there's a lot of fear with it.
Right. And sometimes we've got people who are very functional with their addiction, right? With the weed, with the drinking, they're really functional. But what happens when they're functional, there's still this layer of having a hard time with showing up vulnerably in a relationship, right? And the partner can be like, oh, you're drinking again, or I've got to monitor how much you're drinking at the bars, or like there's something that comes up and they get upset about the substance causes the distress. And there are the extremes too, where people become negligent on creating or making safe decisions when they are using whatever the substance is. They become negligent of it. One of my clients said it to me really well. She was a recovering alcoholic and she said, hey, Jennine, I'm an addict. I lie. And I just thought that was the best way to say it, is like there's a lot of lying to protect this thing that makes them feel so good, right? When they're using it can help them feel so good, but they're kind of making some risky choices. There's this lying, there's this deception, there's the living two lives. And it is kind of like the other woman. Like you're always going with the other woman. And that partner can get really dysregulated, distressed, feel like I can't get to you. So it's pretty significant within relationships.
And so can couples counseling help couples who are experiencing addiction?
Good question. It can help to a point. So we will never tell people, no, don't come in because they're in addiction. No, get in here. Let's really make sense of what's going on. What's the purpose of the substance, right? The addiction. What's it doing for them? When does it become a problem? Most of the time, we can get them to make sense of what's going on and try to calm things down, but we won't be able to go into a stage 2 EFT, go into deeper work when we have this active addiction going on. So we can help them get resources, get tools, start to make sense to why they're feeling so disconnected, to make sense of why it's going on. But at the end of the day, addiction will win over counseling, and the addiction will win over the other person unless we can get it under control. So we want people to be able to, all right, there's the difference of like using versus enjoying. And we want people to enjoy, right? Have a glass of wine, have a good time if you can. If you're able to find a stop, be able to enjoy it with some friends. But with using is more like, I'm not okay, and in order to get through today, I must use. And that unfortunately sends them a really sad message of, I'm not capable of getting through without my substance. I'm stressed, so I have to use. And we don't want our clients to be in that. And so we'll make it more explicit on how can we help you get through really hard times and not use, but you can still is it possible, some people know, but is it possible that you can go and enjoy without using? So so counseling will get you to a further on place as a couple, and also regulates the partner, because the partner will have a place to be seen and feel heard and have a voice. But the problem's still going on. So it can get us to a point until they need to get more help around their addiction, individual counseling, treatment centers, whatever that type of need is. It really depends. Every client is different.
So there are these other resources that clients can turn to for support in addition to coming here and seeking couples or individual counseling.
Right.
Off the top of your head, what are some of those resources?
So we might just have like the AA, NA, and any of the Al-Anons for partners. So these are all free resources for partners to get sponsors, get support, get a community, get free tools. There's all of these recovery programs, and not just AA. There's also SA, Sex Addicts Anonymous, sexual addiction pieces. There are hospitals that can help. There are so many different resources. We'd love to be able to give a lot more of those resources in the link below, so you can get more of the tools. I can't think of them off the top of my head right now, but
absolutely, we will link those below, because there are so many and so many different options, whether it's virtually, in person, in different formats such as videos or books, chat rooms. So that kind of leads me into wanting to learn a little bit more, and this kind of ties in with our last video, but the cycle. How may addiction show up in a cycle? I know they're not all the same, every couple's different, but I'm curious if maybe there's a theme, or if you could tie in addiction into the cycle. So we could kind of see that picture of it.
Yeah, so the addiction definitely comes in, or the substance does, right? As soon as the substance walks in, the cycle can show up. So, for example, partner is, they decide to go out to dinner, and the partner starts to order a couple glasses of wine. The other partner is now watching. Their anxiety is starting to go up. That goes, is this going to stop? History says it's not going to stop. So the partner starts to get more anxious and on the edge, right? And then they're edgy and going like, okay, you're had enough. All right, I want to be done. Then the other partner who's having a couple glasses is going to be like, I feel controlled. You're controlling me. You're always watching me. It's never good enough. I've only had 2 glasses. They get defensive. They get frustrated. So they're like, screw this. I'm drinking some more. So they drink some more. Then that person's like, here it is. See, it's not safe. They put up bigger barriers, right? Walls go up, intensity comes up, and they can go into a fight. And depending on, or another one would be like, you aren't home. Where are you? What's going on? I can't access you. And text, call. I can't get to you. Where are you? Are you home? Where are you? What's going on? While the other partner is off doing who knows what. And so then they start to get their alarms. They start getting mad. They get upset. That partner shows up and this partner's like, I can't trust you. I can't count on you. You're not there for me. So they get more rigid and protected. Right. So, and there's a reason for it. They might look mad or pissed off, which they are. But it's more in this protective space of, I can't count on you. You're not there for me. I lost you. You went to the bars and I can't get to you. Or you're back into, online pornography again. I found the text messages, right? Or whatever the thing is, that impulsive thing took you away, and the partner gets so, it's so upsetting and so distressing, and they are trying to be okay, but they're not okay, right? Sometimes trying to be okay, trying not to count the drinks, trying not to be the helicopter partner. But they end up doing it because that safety and security isn't there. So they end up going into like this hypervigilance, and they usually find things, and that hypervigilance has some payout because they find things. So
those alarms that go off. And clients will often say, yep, I felt them before and I feel them now. And it's scary to feel them. And there's that wanting to protect that takes place during this cycle. And I think that's one of the powerful things that we do in this room is kind of peeling those layers back. You feel that, okay, that partner's mad, as you kind of said, but what they're really doing is maybe wanting to protect themselves, the relationship, and their partner, because they know we've had conversations about substance use. We know what happens. We've talked about it, and here we go again. Kind of, we know what happens next. We've been here before, and it's so scary. And there's this message that gets sent over. This message when they see their partner turning towards that other thing, and getting to that message of, you don't matter, or I'm not important to you. You said you wouldn't do this again, but here we are.
You're doing it again. There's one more way you're choosing that thing over me. One more time you're doing that thing. How many times do I have to tell you how bad it hurts, right? And they're getting the message that whatever substance is winning over me.
Well, this is just the beginning of our conversation on addiction. Jennine, thank you for joining us and having us dive in. And please follow us, because we will be talking more about this, because this stuff is real and it happens, and we want to talk about it and inform you all, and also answer some of your questions that you guys have been asking us. On that note, if you have any other questions, topics maybe we haven't covered that you really want to know more about, please comment below. You can follow us on multiple platforms such as Instagram, Pinterest. You can also go to our email or our website to find our email or number. Give us a call. We'd love to talk more with you. Jennine, thank you again for joining us. It's been awesome to get to sit with you.
Great. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for joining us today. Remember to comment below what you would like to learn about next. Check out Relationships in the Raw on all of our social media channels located in the description. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe to be connected with all of our upcoming episodes.